Gia, Lea Perebe Sapmaloke, Pavaloka, Edrageo, Lenuadora, e era la mano bello yene. Edrageo, Ibe Paralele Oneizo, ah, Paranawe Paisa, Oyageo, hey, Barimengayo. Prophet Aruma mwengi tambari sivo do mavotento. Prophet Aruma mwengi tambari sivo do mavotento. Atosako evu wenu ato mato na wenu a evu. Atosako evu wenu ato mato na wenu a evu. Joy can make you cry, tears cannot bring you joy. Let nobody fade away, it ain't the Lord. Naleo, let nobody beg of willing. It ain't the Lord. Naleo, let somebody see a bolo. You know, hello. Naleo, with Bella Nale. Naleo, Naleo, he beg Barawi, Barry name we. It ain't the Lord. Naleo, I gave baby tongue, Barry name tongue. It ain't the Lord. Naleo, Baralele, Barry name so. It ain't the Lord. Amele voma, bari na ere na sukilo. Kere ira ya na le, na bi banko ya ko peyale. Tera simo chari moegi kamele gikendo bariya. Sine tomanu sinde ya be, moraganu edora eno pelo. Obe barato, bari ne yanko ko mema eno pelo. Na shelo no be moya e, bari na oneya eno pelo ase. The last time I saw you was on TV, going on hello. Naleo, Chief Doctor Chaya Ngova. Chief Doctor Chaya Ngova. The knowledge you use to people, going on hello. Naleo, last stop hospital, I heard it already. Say, last bus stop hospital, I heard it already. Ain't no hello. Yang family bari si eregela wanu bello. Naleo, siga wabe kudam, bari ne watam, ina va bello. Naleo, ibe para win, bari ne win, ina bello. Naleo, ibe kudam, bari ne tam, ina bello ase. Naleo, iworima, 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 iworima.
Thank you, sir.
Ogoni land. It's a privilege, it's an opportunity, and also a very good one that you are here today to honor the people of Ogoni. We sincerely want to appeal that you please understand that this is a very busy day for us. This particular event is not only celebrated in Ogoni land, it's also celebrated outside Nigeria. So at the moment, while we are busy ensuring that most of Nigeria is also trying the best they can to ensure a successful program outside Nigeria, we also try to make sure that we do something in Nigeria. So the event cut across the entire 4 local government and the entire state and beyond Nigeria. So please, for whichever way we have kept waiting, we apologize. Please take our apologies, sir. Thank you very much for coming. At this point, permit me to join on the high table. Please, at this point, Bene Ogoni. Bene Ogoni now let us say, Esra, Bene Ogoni. Bene Ogoni. Bene Ogoni. They are my early day, now the day, Piadona boy. Bako ka lelo buaya, menena yedeya. So ya suka irelo ali nu ya dolo. Dodo nu ya doani ali dodo. So Lord, I am there come alone ma do baka dodo sane. You be na su buy the busado. Samu come ya do. So ya koge ya kwe piano ya lu suppose get no table. With piasa ale no high table ya. Alu doke suado. Ya like gbana egbonpon senior le Ogoni. Dodo ya do ani bado pie don na nesilo bado pie don na ke ya na le Nigeria. So elu anu eya we suan lo ko ibe ya do. Please, you are by the lodge. So you are the Kaluadi Tenage, Legicality Layer. So by the lodge, sir, Esado, welcome. On the high table, a very prominent son of Ogoni land, a recognized son of Ogoni, and someone that has also been very committed to the security architecture in this country, has also been very recognized when it comes to the peace building of this country. We have a father that is with us. Hello, sir. Thank you very much. Joining on the high table is High Comrade Saro-Wiwa, the former president of Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People. Thank you very much. While we are still trying to ensure that our high table is highly consulted respectively, please permit me to welcome another son of Ogoni that has actually contributed so much to the security architecture of this country. He has done well for peace building in this country. He has served in the military. Not just that he has served, he also retired very successfully and also in a very high-ranking situation. Permit me to join you on the high table to invite to the high table Real Admiral Nicholas Bakpo. A father, please, Daddy, you're join. Come and join us on the high table, sir. Please, thank you very much, sir. Please, apologies for starting a bit late. You know, as a military man, you know how to be calm. You've been very calm, and we're happy for your calmness. We'll learn from you, sir. You're welcome to the high table, sir. Thank you. That is Real Admiral Nicholas Bakpo. Retired Rear Admiral Nigeria Navy from Ka in Kana local government of Ogoni land. Thank you. Okay. We also have one of our sons that is here with us. He has also been very much instrumental to this particular event that we have today in Ogoni land. He has also been part of those that his father laid down the cause and the struggle. He has contributed, inherited as a child. It was actually
Secretary of Council is here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like I was saying, please, let me at this point in time welcome one of our own that is here with us. Okay, we are still on the high table. Let me as well recognize one of our sons that is here with us to also. Okay, thank you very much. Let me as well, please join me as also want to welcome to the high table our guest speaker that is here with us, Professor Akani. Please, can you join us on the high table, please? Please welcome Professor Akani here with us. Please join us on the high table. Thank you very much. You're welcome, sir. It's good to have you in Ogoni land. Also, we're happy to see you joining us today. To remember our late heroes. It's a good one that we have here today, sir. You're very much welcome. While we also try to consider the high table, please. Join me to welcome our brother and father that is here, John Aslam Miller, to join on the high table, sir. Thank you. While we also recognize the Secretary of Ghana Local Government Council that is here, Sir Henry Wine, please can you join us? Where are you, sir? He's also representing as well. Sorry, that's a Secretary Ghana Council. You're very much welcome, sir. Eric Quine, you're welcome. We also have someone that have actually ensured that this program or this particular leadership came to success. We have our father that is here with us. We have Dr. Kamalu. He actually ensured that we have this particular leadership that is here today. Please. Dr. Abraham Olungbe, please. Yeah, where are you, sir? Dr. Abraham Olungbe. Are you here with us, sir? Okay. We also have with us Chris Asibo. It was actually the Elego secretary that conducted the election that brought this particular leadership. We are very proud of you, sir. We appreciate you, sir. While you also here with us, we have a dignity that has come from far to recognize or to grace this particular occasion. You know, a place you can take your discussion down to the other side, sir. Gbani Ogoni. So piasa nele ye. So it's not so much then ilo so koso ko piasa nele ya kalo yi. Ya Ogoni we ya kalo. So Kaya Donabe here with us. We have a recognized stakeholder. Someone that is recognized beyond River State. A father, a king, And someone that has actually given so much attention and respect to the struggle of Ogoni is a man that has actually abandoned his activities today, his busy schedule for today, and as well try the best he can to see how we can be able to be part of this particular event. So a man with so much love, so much, a man that just a phone call from the president of Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP Professor Engineer Wai Ogosu, just a minute phone call to him, and he accepted to skip his schedule to be part of this particular all-important event here in the Memorial Park. Join me as I make welcome, and also to recognize once again our father that is here with us, and the king, His Eminence, Sir Dr. Barrister Nwachukwu Nnam Oboroha Obi III, Oba Eze of Ogba land, that is here with us. Please join me to welcome him. About the people who are going to Kawa Lua say, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. I, at this point in time, also want to recognize on his entourage. On his entourage, we have His Royal Highness. Please, you permit me, it's a native name. If I don't get your name exactly how it is spelled, please permit me. His Royal Highness, Love Abisi Ajay, the traditional Prime Minister that is here on the entourage of Ogba. Okay, we also have on his entourage, Chief Dr. Ajay, Chairman, ODCTROC, that is here with us. On his entourage, we have His Royal Highness, Obi Ada, that is also here with us, Chairman, OCTROC. On his entourage as well, we have His Royal Highness, Nnamdi Owusa, the Secretary, ODCTRO, here with us present. On this entourage, we have His Royal Highness, Dr. Ian Okoro Eze Usemene of Ogba land. Yeah, he's with us, please. On this entourage, we have His Royal Highness, Sunday Nnam Eke Ochi Oha of Ogba land. On the entourage as well, we have His Royal Highness, Enoch. Show me code, please. Sorry, the spelling is not very clear for me. You're very much welcome, sir. On the entourage, we have, please, where's this guy? Where's that guy? Okay. Yeah, this okay. Thank you very much. At this point, I want to sincerely take permission from Oba that the spelling here is not very clear to me. So at this point, let me use this opportunity to welcome all those on the entourage of Ogbaland. You're very much welcome. We highly respect you. You're very much welcome. And your color, your presence is highly respected. Thank you very much, sir. You're most welcome, sir. Okay, thank you very much. We want to have one of the activities that is very much important. Please, Kingdom Coordinators, LMA, Secretary MOSOP, everybody, please get seated. Please get seated. Please get seated. Let everybody get seated, please. Please get seated. Hello, please, can we coordinate ourselves? We want to have a particular activities that I'm sure you are going to enjoy. The vibe, please get seated. Everybody get seated. Before this particular event, let me use very opportunity to welcome Dr. Olungbe that is here with us. Abraham Olungbe, I have actually recognized you before. You are most welcome on the high table, sir. You're very much welcome, sir. Also, let me welcome the representative of the Gokana Local Government Chairman, Dr. Bona Solomon, representing Gokana Local Government Chairman. Please, if you are here, join us. Please, can we get seated, please? Can we all get seated at this point? Bani Ogoni. Bani Ogoni. Bani Ogoni. Bani Ogoni. Bani Ogoni. So, Piasa Nele ye. And you are taken. And you take a lonely hour kanga. The way kanga can't tell me, why kanga book to? The way kanga can't tell me, I look at Walu. Now, you don't say kanga, I kanga, bado dono. Bado dono in a case. So, oh yeah. Let me welcome at this point in time. Okay. Let me also use this singular opportunity to recognize Professor Emmanuel Igbaneye that is here with us. You're very much welcome, sir. I also want to recognize His Royal Highness Stephen Big Bear that is here with us. You're very much welcome. Royal Highness Stephen Bear, you're very much welcome. Dr. Henry Kine, you're very much welcome. Mele Cloud Eke and Otonye Douglas, you're very much welcome, sir. Please. Thank you very much. Let me also use a singular opportunity to welcome Mela Cloud Eke. So please join us on the high table. Please, Mela Cloud Eke, you're welcome to the high table, sir. Thank you very much. At this point, we want to start the event proper. I will also use the opportunity to urge all guests to please get seated. Let me invite our brother that is here with us for an opening prayer. Join me as I welcome Chris Asibo for opening prayer. Please, you're welcome, sir.
I think we have to give honor to whom honor is due. I will use this time to call on the OCC chairman, Pastor Okere, to please handle this. This is his office.
Let us pray. Father, these days, we thank you for these great days that you have given to us. This is the day that had been happening in every year of our time. Thank you for this day. Thank you for joining mercy to this place. Thank you for whatever we are going to do here. Father, give us these days whatever we needed for these days. The knowledge and wisdom that acquire. Have your way, O Lord, from the beginning to the end. That at the end, your name alone will be glorified. Thank you for answered as we ask you in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much.
Ba biao go ni no pa ire yira ko yon we azia sitam biao go ni sitam ire yira na ko yon we balo biao go ni balo ire yira Beno, ya ogoni beno, ire nakoyon. Engr, ya ogoni Engr, ire Beno Ogoni, great Ogoni people.
The military appointed tribunal. You can only kill the messenger, but you can't kill the message. Before I am hanged, my Lord, we will stand before history. I am a man of peace and of ideas. Apparently by the denigrating poverty of my people, who live in a richly endowed land, distressed by the political marginalization and economic triangulation, angered by the devastation of their land, their ultimate heritage, anxious to preserve their right to life and to a decent living, and determined to usher to this country as a whole a fair and just democratic system. We protect everyone and every ethnic group and give us a valid claim to human civilization. I have devoted my intellectual and material resources, my very life, to a cause in which I have total belief and for which I cannot be blackmailed or intimidated. I have no doubt at all about the ultimate success of my cause, no matter the trials and tribulations, which I and those who believe with me may encounter on my journey. Neither imprisonment nor death can stop our ultimate victory. I repeat, that we will stand before history. I and my colleagues are not the only ones on trial. Shell is here on trial, and this is as well that is represented by constituted beholding and watching priest. The company has indeed dug this particular trial. But this day will surely come, and the lesson learned here may prove useful to read. For there is no doubt in my mind that the ecological war that the company has waged in the Delta will be called to question sooner than later, and the crime of that war duly punished. The crime of the company's dirty wars against the Ogoni people will also be punished. On trial also the Nigerian nation, its present rulers and those who assisted them. Any nation which can do to the weak and disadvantage what the Nigerian nation has done to the Ogoni loses the claim to independence and the freedom from outside influence. I am not one of those who shy away from protecting justice and oppression, urging that they expect in the military regime. The military do not act alone. They are supported by government politicians, lawyers, judges, academics, and businessmen. All of them had it done and claim that they are only doing their duty. Men and women too are afraid to walk the path of your reign. We all stand on trial, my Lord, for our actions we have denigrated our country and jeopardized the future of our children. As we subscribe to the subnormal and acceptable standard, as we lie and cheat openly, as we protect injustice and oppression, we empty our classrooms, denigrate our hospitals, fill our tumor with hunger, and elect to make ourselves the slave of those who are strapped to higher standard. Pursue the truth and honor justice, freedom and hard work. I predict that the sin here will be played and replayed by generations yet unborn. Some have already cast themselves in the role of villains. Some are tragic victims. Some still have themselves to redeem themselves. The choice is for each individual. I predict that the denouncement of the riddle of the Niger Delta will soon come, and the agenda is being set at this trial. Whether the peaceful ways that the favor of the private depends on what the oppressor decides. What signals is sent out to the waiting public? In my no sense to the four churches are faced here. In my utter conviction, I call upon the Ogoni people the peoples of the Niger Delta and the oppressed, the ethnic minorities of Nigeria to stand up now, fight fearlessly and peacefully for their right. History is on their side. God is on their side. For the Holy Quran says in Surah chapter 42 verse 41, all those that fight the way the oppressed incur no guilt, but that are sharp opponents of oppressors. Come the day, my colleagues, I know happy to die with me for the Ogoni struggle. What type of country is it that take the lot in killing its lost of citizens? God is a better judge between me and you. Are these not the people that are willing that are being killed? Why are you doing this to me? What is the essence of my continuous existence? My God and the God and the Spirit of Ogoni land, if by my death my people can be free, please God, allow me to die, and God, take my soul, but the struggle continues. Great Ogoni people, Brother Ogoni, Brother Ogoni, Brother Ogoni, Danaba, 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 Nabada. Oh, Danaba, MOSOP President. Danaba, 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 MOSOP President. Danaba, Danaba.
Thank you so very much, sir, for this particular citation. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. That's the last statement of King Saro-Wiwa before he was hanged. And sincerely want to thank you for paying attention to that. At this point, permit me to hand over the microphone to our father again that is here on the high table to give us the opening speech for today's particular very important function. Let me hand over the microphone to our father, our brother, Rear Admiral Nicholas Bakbo, retired. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I have always been called Real Admiral. There is no fake Admiral now. I said the right thing is Real Admiral, not Real Admiral, because there is no fake Admiral. The president of MOSOP, Professor Wai Ogosu, the royal father of the day, His Eminence, Barrister Dr. Nwachukwu Nnam Obi, the third, the Oba of Ogbaland. My distinguished friends, sons, and daughters of Ogoni land. Pardon me for the skip, because when I said the Oba of Ogoni land, I also include members of his entourage and his cabinet. Distinguished sons and daughters of Ogoni land, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, no, good afternoon. That's why it's not right to write a script, because I wanted to say morning, but now it is good afternoon. And thank you very much for honoring this occasion with your esteemed presence. Before I go proper into my opening remarks, I just want to remember one clause from one book I read, The Forces of Culture by Ali Mazuri. He said that the white men wear wristwatches for the culture of punctuality, but the black man wears wristwatches for the culture of pride. And that is why we go for occasions very late, and then we start walking in and be looking at our time so that people will know the type of watches we are wearing. Why did I remember that? I know this occasion was fixed for 10 o'clock. And I remember I put a call in the morning to confirm, and I was told it is 10 o'clock. I rushed and was here by 10. And behold, we are starting by 2. What a prompt timing. For some times now, since 2014, when I retired from the military, I've been trying to adjust to timing. And they will be telling me Nigerian time. So sometimes when you go by the time published, you have to sleep and sleep and sleep at the venue before it will start. And now when I want to adjust to say, let me keep the Nigerian timing, sometimes I overkeep it. Before I come, they are closing. So I'm still trying to learn how to adjust so that maybe I will know the right time to come. But maybe what I will do in these days is that if I come and the time is not ripe, I may go back home. But if I oversleep and don't come back, the people should not blame me because I was there earlier. Having said that, let me thank God for bringing us safely from our various destinations to this very occasion. Honestly, I feel highly honored to be chosen as the chairman. I remember sometimes in 1995, I was a lieutenant in the Navy then, an equivalent of a captain in the Nigerian Army. And I received a call that a lot of my people from Ka were arrested on their way to Port Harcourt and detained at Po by the then Major Ikontomo Task Force. I felt I was an officer very close in rank to him, so I could actually go to him and plead the innocence of my people, which I did. I got there, he actually received me, but he told me there was nothing he could do about it. And actually he did nothing about it. You can imagine the way I felt when I was going back, very dejected, because I could not rescue my people who were innocently detained. You will recall that it was during that period that Major Ikontomo was boasting that he had 21 ways of killing people and that he had only applied about 1 or 2 ways on Ogoni people, that he had more to go. Imagine how embarrassing and intimidating that type of scenario was on my people at that time. And what was the cause of all this harassment and intimidation? It was nothing other than Ogoni people crying out against environmental degradation, political marginalization, and underdevelopment. That was all they were crying out for. And the people were passing through all this. During that process, a whole generation of Ogoni frontline politicians and political leaders, which you could see here, were silenced, gruesomely murdered. And that was only to make sure that Ogoni was set back 20 years from other tribes in the state, so that they could peacefully enter Ogoni land, take the oil for the development of Nigeria. I'm sure those of you who came in here from outside will agree with me that the environment called Ogoni land has very great development. The roads alone will tell you how developed we are, with all the carnage happening on that road every day. The late Chief MKO Abiola whom all of us acclaimed was the winner of the June 12 election, he declared himself president. And that was considered a treasonable offense, the highest offense in the country. He was arrested, detained, and he died in prison custody. But years after, the same Nigerian state granted him political pardon to assuage the pains of Yoruba people and justify that he was wrongly treated. The late Ken Saro-Wiwa and his distinguished Ogoni kinsmen were only advocating for better treatment and crying against environmental degradation, political marginalization, and underdevelopment of their land. The international community listened and came to investigate and agreed that they were pursuing a just cause. It was not treason. They were fighting for the emancipation of Ogoni people. They were arrested, detained, and silenced. Despite the intervention of the international communities, up till today, the Nigerian state has found it very difficult to grant them the same pardon and exonerate them from such offense. What an irony. Different strokes for different people. The only thing we are seeing now is a clandestine move to re-enter Ogoni land to continue with oil exploration and exploitation. I want it to be on record that Ogoni people are not against any continuation of oil exploration and exploitation in Ogoni land. But that Ogoni people want the right thing to be done. No Ogoni man is saying they should not come and take oil. No Ogoni man is saying we are going to drink the oil. But what Ogoni people are saying is that any re-entry should follow a normal process that will assuage the pains of the people and address what really happened before. Having said that, I must tell my own Ogoni people that we must not make the mistakes of the past, where we were divided against ourselves in order to create an opportunity to silence us. Because that is what is happening now. With this clandestine move to enter Ogoni, we are seeing some division with Ogoni people. And the only thing we are trying to see now is a situation where we will also fight ourselves, and then those who think they are in front now will be silenced. We must learn from history. Ken Saro-Wiwa and his other Ogoni kinsmen are late. They are dead. But the message is not dead. And the message can never die. Therefore, I enjoin Ogoni people to reunite and remain resolute in their quest for emancipation. Just like Saro-Wiwa said, violence will not solve it. But we will not also keep quiet. to see the same evil repeat itself in Ogoni land. Therefore, I urge MOSOP to rise up to the occasion and make sure that the sacrifice of our heroes in the past will not be in vain. As we listen to the memorial lecture, I believe we will have one or two things we will take home. And if our thinking had been in the wrong direction, we should be able to redirect it, bearing in mind the reason we are here. Ogoni has been set back about 20 years because of the silencing of our frontline leaders at that time. We must not allow that to repeat itself this time, so that we are not relegated completely. Having said that, once again, I say thank God for bringing us safely for this occasion. Long live Ogoni land. Long live Rivers State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. That was a very strategic message that was sent by our son. At this point, I want to go straight to the next agenda with me here. Please, permit me as well to hand over the microphone to a man that is living and we are all seeing an example from. A role model at this point in time. Someone that has come to show us, the people of Ogoni, some love. The love you have extended to us today and the love you've been extending to us all this while, sir. We want to sincerely say that we appreciate it. We are very much happy that you decided to stay back to this moment to ensure that you see to the success of this particular all-important event. Permit me to hand over the microphone at this point in time to His Eminence, Nwachukwu Nnam Obi III, the Oba of Ogbaland, for his speech. Welcome very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm not sure we're ready for today, are we? I have patiently waited for you people. And that one I don't usually do. We came from Omok and we waited for more than 2 hours. But I will tell you that the wait was worth it. So, I'm aware that the executive governor of the state was supposed to be here. So, Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Rivers State, the chairman of the occasion, the Rear Admiral retired, the President, MOSOP, our own very dear Professor Wai Ogosu, all the eminent traditional rulers here, our great sons and daughters of Rivers State who have come to stay with our people, the great people of Ogoni, represented by the eminent personalities here present, all the radiant ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I will say that I am especially grateful to God for this privilege we've been given to come to Bani in Kana local government area, precisely this international center, an edifice you have raised to keep alive a flame that cannot be quenched. Our coming is to felicitate with you, to sing the songs of joy, to reenact the bonds that hold us together, the Oba people and the Ogoni people, to remind ourselves of the relationships of the past, which made our people work as a unit, which made us one in the struggle to emancipate every one of us. I am glad that after rain, there's always sunshine. I am glad that a lot of things are happening here now which were not happening before. And somebody will ask me what is happening. If for nothing else, at least the international community knows the name Ogoni very well. Attesting to the fact that out of a sorrowful event can come glad tidings. Our people have been together in the struggle to emancipate our people from environmental degradation, from the poverty that have clothed us, from the wickedness of man on man. We have not sought to take everything God has given us. We have merely asked, give us a reasonable share that we may also breathe the way other people are breathing. If that is a request that was bad to man, I am sure it was not bad to God. And because it's not bad to God, that is why today we are here doing what we are doing. I am sure you realize that every moment we are here, we are laying wreath, we are laying tribute, we are laying blessings on the souls of the martyrs who are before us. Because just as they have gone, every one of us will also go and join them. What we may not know is whether we'll be on their right-hand side or we'll be kept far away from them. That one is dependent on what you and I do after the struggle. So the Royal Admiral and Chairman, I want to thank you especially for your statements. Especially when you called on MOSOP to hold on to the baton, to recharge its batteries, to march forward with strength and courage, to look deeply into those things that will move the people forward. That was a charge for me that summarized why we're here. We cannot fight the fight of our ancestors. They had their fights, they fought them the way they fought them. Today is a different day in the life of our people. And today the tools for fighting is also different from what they had. So if we do not bring our heads together, if we do not remove the littleness of our minds that make us walk against one the other, if we do not engage with reason and intellectualism in order to see the light that will come, then we are going to fail again woefully. It's therefore my call, Mr. President. I've known you for quite a number of years. I have told you that I was one of your admirers when we were in NAFCON then. You were a big manager then. We were down the line. You have a nature that holds tenaciously to what is right. You are dogged in the way you pursue things that are right and germane. You do not let go, but you are not vociferous. You are not belligerent. You choose your weapons of warfare, and you normally conquer. I was there. I was a witness to all you did. I am believing that with you at the saddle, carrying the hope and aspiration of all the people of Ogoni, you will bring the same dexterity, you will bring the same forthrightness, that depth of thought, to making sure that they realize, if not 100%, at least 60% of the reason why they struggle. We understand that along the line there will be challenges, but that is what leadership is all about. Leadership without stone is not leadership. But those who are throwing the stone, be careful so that you don't remove the eyes. Because once the eyes are gone and they are blind, they can't lead you. So I call on you, our people of Ogoni, to rally around your leaders, to listen to them. They will think of the best for you. They cannot afford to do less because Ken, Saro-Wiwa, and the rest have shown the way already. So they cannot deviate. What you owe now is to rally around them. When they say, let's go this way, know that they have thought deeply. And they will not want to put you in harm's way when they are suggesting a thing. So you go with them and you will achieve the result. I know for sure that the God of justice is on our side. And when I say on our side, I mean the entire Niger Delta. For us who have borne the brunt of the nation's wealth, but like they said in the past, my father said, you go with a basket to fetch water and you come back empty-handed. The same thing happens when there's injustice. When a state refuses to be just, the basket experience is what it experiences. So our call is that those who know should know. Those who ought to know should try to know. Because the times have changed, and we may not sit quietly and watch our people drown in poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that the time is fast spent. All I have done is just to bring you greetings from Oberland, your brothers, your sisters there, who love you and who walked with you. It is not history when we say your father, your mentor, Ken, was always in Omok. He walked with our people closely. He walked with one of our brothers whom you've mentioned today, Professor Claude Ake, who was also a great brain and a thinker like himself. I am glad that even today the son is here seated with us. That is how it should be. When they were holding those midnight meetings, we were not there. But today, all of us can harvest their suffering, their sweat, their thought, and their greatness. I therefore call on all of us to come together and do whatever is necessary and right, whatever is just and righteous to achieving the aims of our people. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So good to have you speak to us. Be the third, the Oba of our land. It's a privilege and opportunity to have you with us today. The people of Ogoni say thank you for coming. At this point, I want to sincerely go to the next agenda of the program here before me. We have the next speech that is coming from a prominent son of Ogoni, a man that at this point in time the baton has been handed over to. Someone that we're expecting the survival and the success, the continuation of the success of this struggle has been laid and has been handed over to him by the past leadership of MOSOP. He is a father, a man that has actually carried the people of Ogoni at heart, ensure that the people of Ogoni is always part of one of those things, the things upon his awakening in the morning. Please join me as I sincerely hand over the microphone to our father and his son, the President, Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People of our time, Professor Engineer Olu and Wai Ogosu. Thank you for your opening speech, sir. Thank you.
I didn't hear that very well. Great Ogoni people. Great Ogoni people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You will know how I feel today for bringing our Omoku brothers here today. I look at them when they came in. They reminded me of what was in the Ogoni Bill of Rights that talked about culture and heritage. You see the respect they give to traditional leadership. That's what we have gradually lost in Ogoni land. But I do know perfectly well that our forebears never did that. Our forebears loved culture because it was in them. And culture did what to them? Gave them discipline. Culture also gave them love for one another. But unfortunately, there was a disconnect. And Ken came at a time when he was a little bit above his peers. It happens that way in most histories of the world. That people will arise when they are above their times, they do what they're supposed to do, and they leave. Ken's soul has been taken to eternity. But the struggle, the vision that he started is still with us. And that's why we're here today. And that's why we have the privilege of having one of the most revered kingship in this country here with us. The event today is to call us back to memory. Agitate us so we can ask ourselves questions. Have we been living well with ourselves? You can see before me papers and books. This will be unveiled today. There's a tabloid here that was started at the time of Ken called Ogoni Star. And that was the mouthpiece, part of the mouthpiece of MOSOP. So that the voice of Ogoni will not just stay in Ogoni, but will be listened outside Nigeria. That tabloid went out of the newsstands in Ogoni land, and indeed in Port Harcourt. We are bringing it back today. You also will see 2 books on the table. One talks about the victims of circumstance, and the other one talks about the retrial of Ken Saro-Wiwa. We want to recreate what was supposed to have been, but was not. And the challenge for MOSOP today is to put these 2 books in dramatic forms. And we want to promise our brothers from Omok, led by His Eminence, who was my professional colleague in NAFCON, And we're going to dramatize these two books. We have already contacted theater departments of 2 universities in the Niger Delta. One is River State University, and the other one is University of Uyo. We're going to put these books in play, and we'll take them around the whole Niger Delta so that we can recreate the message that Ken left with us. I'm promising this house, I'm promising the Ogoni people, and I'm promising our brothers. We want to thank everybody for being here. Yes, movement for the survival of Ogoni people. It's a movement built on justice, fair play, equity, free speech, to be able to stand their own, to be able not to be cowed. We've got to believe in ourselves. And MOSOP is well positioned now to take it up from where Ken left. I want to promise you guys that. We'll start by recreating love for ourselves. We'll start by reconciling. Reconciliation is the key word. We lost it. And that's why development also eluded us. In our midst today, our officials of the local government authority. Ogoni has 4 local government areas. And they are with us in the charge to reconcile the people, in the charge to reposition MOSOP, to be the mouthpiece, to be the voice. But we can only be the voice if we're going to be forthright, if we're going to be courageous, if we can stand for the truth. In our midst today, to show that we've started the move for proper reconciliation, we have families of the martyrs here. We also have people who stood by us, fought with us, for us to be the people we are still. People we are still as Ogoni people. They're here today. And we moved to this event, to this iconic community of Ogoni. Bane. Because MOSOP was a grassroots movement. We have broken that disconnect. And that's why we insisted we're going to come back to the grassroots and take it up from that point. I'm not going to read what I have. Because once I'm moved by the Spirit, I will talk. So we're here today to charge and challenge ourselves. Are we ready to move forward? Are we ready to walk like brothers and sisters? Are we ready to stop this atomistic nature that pulled us down? Are we ready? If we are ready, we'll be able to build up all the decaying infrastructures. We'll be able to uplift education again. Ken contributed quite a lot, and the forebears contributed quite a lot in talking about education. We all know that. The first generation of enlightened people of Ogoni
and the second generation of the enlightened people of Ogoni were very interested in peace, in understanding, in capacity development. And that's why today, you go to any part of the world, you'll be proud to see Ogoni people. Ogoni is matured to start its own Ogoni Diaspora Commission. And that's what we promise you guys. We have so many of our brothers in Europe, US, name it. Beneficiaries of the struggle that claim the lives of martyrs. What have they been able to bring back home? It's a challenge we're going to throw back to them. We are ready to bring life back to Ogoni. What I mean by life is our source of livelihood. Our primary occupation, we all killed as a result of the criminal exploitation of the natural resources that Ogoni was and is endowed with. We are ready to do that. Just to give you guys, give us a tip of what we want to do. In the next few weeks, MOSOP is going to kickstart back to fishing. Because that was a major source of occupation of our people. Car Waterside had the biggest market in West Africa, if I'm correct. Car. We're starting that project in a couple of weeks, empowering families in 3 communities of Ogoni. Sin, Gwara, and where, oh, am I correct? Ka, Sin, Gwara. We're going to send them back to the waters. And how are we going to do that? We're going to empower them with the boats. We'll empower them with the fishing tools appropriate to those different ecosystems. And we're going to charge them that in 6 months, they'll be able to form a fishing cooperative society so they can enlarge the space for more activity and contribution and participation. We're going to do that. We are also poised to uplift communication, conversation, engagement, consultation. These are key issues that have denied us the right reasoning to do what is supposed to be right. Just like Oba Fogbalan said, this is the time of meaningful engagement. We've passed the time of wrong, negative agitation. We have started already to move MOSOP back to the international arena as I speak to you all. We started meaningful engagement with UNPO, which is an agency of United Nations that deals with the travails and the problems and the challenges of the unrepresented people of the world. MOSOP has started discussions with them already. And in the next few months, training sessions will start. And we're going to take that training sessions down to the grassroots. Our entry is divine. And like I said, at the grave of Ken, when I knocked on that door, I told him we need all his support, because we are going to revive that spirit so that the vision of a better future, vision that will remove helplessness and hopelessness in our faces. Tall task. But with commitment, we'll get there. One major challenge this regime, this administration is going to start working on is to ensure that we rebuild sincerity in what we do. Rebuild passion, patriotic passion on the cause of Ogoni. So, when you see us in your backyards, in your compounds, it's going to be regular. Because we need to interact so we can know where it pinches, so we can know where it hurts. If we are able to resolve all those things, life will start returning. We're also ready to engage politicians. I want to make that public. Times have gone when they claim MOSOP is not political. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. We'll start engaging them. We'll start commenting on topical political issues that affects the people and affects the community at any cost. The next challenge I'm giving is to my cabinet. MOSOP has a formidable structure that starts from the president and goes down to the rural, the grassroots. So that what information and communication can flow bottom, top, top, bottom. We're going to revive that. So every chapter chairman, every chapter executive, every national executive, every affiliate executive, you guys be ready to work. Because people who know me know I'm a workaholic. So we are ready to work. We're ready to bring glory back to Ogoni land. We're ready to make Ogoni man stand taller than where Ken left it. Fellow compatriots, fellow Ogoni people, the journey has just started a second phase. The task is not going to be easy. But we need all hands to be on deck so that we can be able to achieve what will bring smiles back, achieve what will put our people back to the farms, pull them back to the waters, to the rivers, and encourage real education. If we carry out good statistics of the educational status of Ogoni land from the second enlightened Ogoni people to date, the graph went up, tabled, and dropped. So we are going to be working with data, real data. Research is the thing. So we're going to bring key into the technology of the world to ensure we reposition Ogoni people to where we stand. So we are asking the authorities from the local government sector to work with us so that we can be able to put smiles in the faces of Ogoni people. I go to the communities, the crannies and nooks of Ogoni. What I see is poverty. What I see is frustration in the faces of our people. It's not supposed to be so. For a people that are well endowed with natural resources, tall order, big task, but with God on our side and the people on our side, we'll make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our President. I want us.
One second, Mr. MC, please. 1 second. You know, I wasn't reading through. So I want to read something here. MOSOP is using this event today to call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, GCFR, who was Ken Saro-Wiwa's colleague from the side of Nadeko. He was. So we'll use this point to call on him as a matter of urgency. To initiate the process of exonerating Ken and the 8 others. We'll push that issue beyond the jargon of pardon and exoneration. We'll pull that because we believe that the official clearing of the names of our heroes will heal the wounds in the hearts, not my heart alone, in the hearts of all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President. That was a beautiful presentation from the President of MOSOP, Professor Engineer Wai Ogosu. While the President was taking his speech, we have the Executive Vice Chairman of Ghana Local Government, Honorable Rita Wete, that just walked in while the President was on speech. Please, if you're here, you can come and take your seat here. The Vice Chairman can. Thank you, ma. Please, that's our Vice Chairman of Ghana Local Government. Please, come and take your seat. Thank you. You're welcome, ma. While we are seated, I want to sincerely to appeal to the high table and to our guests here to please try and be a bit patient with us because there are some items on the programs that we cannot skip, though we have actually concluded to skip some of the programs or some of the items, but there are some we cannot actually skip. So we sincerely want to call on the attention of our chairman, the Oba on the high table, and our president to please continue being patient with us, sir. We appreciate you being patient. You're a good man, sir. Thank you. At this point, We want to have the lecture from our son, a brother and a friend, and also an extended indigenous of Ogoni, from Comrade Professor Christian Akani, to please deliver the guest lecture on the Martyrs and International Days of the Ogoni Identity. Y'all please join me to welcome him very much, our brother and son. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. His Eminence, the Oba of Oberland, Oba Nam Obi III, Reverend Sir, the Chairman, Rear Admiral Nicholas Bakpo, retired, the eminent President of the frontline organization of the Ogoni People, the movement for the survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP, distinguished royal fathers, chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, may I appreciate my mentor and father and leader, Professor Christian Akani, of the Department of Political Science, Ignatius Ajuru University, Port Harcourt, for giving me this opportunity to stand in this very distinguished audience to represent him to deliver this paper. When I got a call from him and he asked me to do this responsibility, I felt once more very pleased. May I thank the organizers of this program for even the theme at this time in our nation of deliberate oppression, exclusion, annihilation, and if you like, marginalization of groups that are perceived as minorities. And it was on that reason that when I looked at the topic, I felt that I should go on this discourse on the premise of minority rights, and then the internalization or internationalization of the Ogoni identity. Let me quickly say that the concept of fundamental rights actually define the essence of any human being. You really are not a human being if you have no opportunity to exercise your rights. That's why the rights are expressed to be inalienable, cannot be taken away from you except in violation of extant provisions of laws and instruments. The rights are many, but I will just say that the generations of the rights, it does appear that the Ogoni people haven't been quite fortunate to be positioned properly to enjoy the first generation rights as enshrined in our constitution, because we're here that persons were killed in ways that we never felt were justified. I was a bit younger when I was attending that hearing. The second generation rights of the basic essence of existence, the economic, social, and cultural rights of Ogoni people are also being challenged. Before we talk about the third generation rights of solidarity, I think it was on the foundation of expressing their views that the martyrs were gruesomely murdered by the state. So on that review, you would agree that the three generations of rights, even as provided in our Constitution, Chapter 2 for the social, economic, and cultural rights, including economic rights and the right to access resources and harness resources as they are endowed in your area. And again, for the state to manage resources in such a manner that the people will be prosperous. I also felt that because I mentioned the concept of minority, that it was imperative to identify the Ogonis. But I'm already talking to a people who already know themselves. If I were addressing non-Ogonis, then I think that would have been appropriate to x-ray my thoughts about who the Ogonis are so they could appreciate the Ogonis. But I know you know yourself. You know that you are resilient. You know where you find yourself. You know your territory. You know your economic structure. You know your political structure. You know your community leadership. And again, indeed, you know the travails that you are going through in all of these considerations. So I wouldn't bore us, but they are there. If you have an opportunity to get this paper, I've been able to talk about the territorial location of the Ogonis, the political composition of the Ogonis, and then the languages, the economic system, nationalism as a political ideology of the Ogonis. And that's what actually propelled our icon and role model with his colleagues to, if you like, push, insist, demand, speak out, and speak up with a drive to establishing a nationalism for the Ogoni people, an identity for the Ogoni people. And that political ideology is about seeking self-determination, but most fundamentally in non-violent ways. Everybody who is from Ogoni already knows what I have just mentioned. And I also took time to just briefly give us an understanding of who minorities are. Sometimes it's not just about the number, but it's about the realities of deprivation and denial of access to economic resources and political power. I will give you one example. Apartheid South Africa had the majority of blacks, but they were marginalized. So that justifies my assertion that the concept of minority isn't quite about the numbers. After all, the Ogoni people have been reported to have huge population. I wouldn't want to mention them because I don't know what the census figures are now. Now, we also identify the characteristics of minorities which have reflected in the realities of the Ogoni people. They are concerned about their physical and cultural traits, the experience of minority groups across the world and all nationalities. It is those who perceive themselves as the majority. We subordinate the identities and culture and, if you like, traits of the minority groups. If they have the opportunity to even annihilate them and cause them to go extinct, that is palpable, apparent, unequal treatment. And I think the experience of the Ogoni people is not different from my people. I am a Niger Deltan. I am from a very small community that even the population in this hall could be about 10 times rather, or the population of my community, except those who are outside. But the same experience of deliberate marginalization, exclusion, and if you like, denial of economic opportunities is what we experience. And that is Kala Ogbogolo in Ahuda West local government. I dare that most of our chiefs and leaders and elders who are here may probably just think that in Ahuda West you only have the Ekbees and the Engenes. But there is a clear discrimination against the Ogbogolo people who are neither Engene nor Ekbe. They are extraction of the Ogbea kingdom and still speaking the Ogbogolo language. That is an extract of the Ogbea language in the Ijaw extraction. So you find a situation where right now, I was just talking to the chairman who was just elected, and he's a friend. I know that he has announced a great number of appointments, but up to today, not a single person from the 3 communities in that Ogbogolo kingdom has been considered for an appointment. But I do know, because he has spoken with me, he will do the right thing. So what's the point here? There is usually unequal treatment. In the entire Niger Delta, His Eminence spoke about, because the experiences and realities are the same across the Niger Delta region. It is basically about our endowed resources. The exploitation and exploration over 5 decades has actually caused this deliberate marginalization and oppression of our people. They ascribe status to minorities. Before you know, they stereotype you, they give you names just to be able to, if you like, constrict you to that subversive position all through. But what do we need to do? Minorities need to solidarize. So solidarity is fundamental and is important. You also will need to maintain and insist that their cultures remain strengthened and consolidated, including through marriages, cross-cultural festivals and activities, and of course, reject and refuse any form of subordination. Fela Ransom Kuti had said that human right is his property, and you cannot dash in human rights. And I hold that very strongly as an icon, as I, without priding myself, the national legal advisor of the foremost human rights organization in this country, the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. And that's the principal founder and icon of our movement in this country. So there are a number of minority rights that are usually violated. I had expressed the generational rights in that broad reference, but you could see that there is clear violation of the freedom from discrimination. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is extant to the effect that no citizen should be discriminated for any consideration, neither by sex, color, tribe, religion, or even by virtue of where you find yourself and you're located. But is that the reality for minority groups in Nigeria? No, not at all. So minorities often face discrimination. The right to dignity of the human person provided under Section 34 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has clearly prohibited all forms of inhumane treatment against a people, against a group, against an entity, and against an individual. But the mere neglect of a people has been expanded to also include derogating the personality of those people, and by that extension, violation of the right to dignity. The right to citizenship and identity. Yes, our Constitution has provided for citizenship in chapter 1 of the Constitution, to the extent that if you are born here, if you are born of a parent, and another, if you are registered as a citizen. But what is more fundamental is when the people indeed lose their identity. You may be a Nigerian, you speak to be so. And I think that's what has actually happened in Ogoni. The Ogonis that have left and taken the opportunity of the arrangements that were made by the struggle, and the president was telling me today that in Europe, in Canada, and in America, that the largest local communities of Nigeria are Ogonis. So that wasn't deliberate. People would not deliberately want to sojourn to leave their places of identity. One fundamental concept or factor of identity is your land, your language, your culture, your realities around you. But if you go to the UK and Canada and the US, you can't express those forms of identity. So because that has been denied, we feel that minorities have also been denied their right to citizenship and identity. There are lots of other rights, a right to development. It's important to state that development is a right. Most of us will think that only the fundamental rights expressed under Chapter 4 of the Constitution that are human rights, or the one that Nigerian Constitution has surreptitiously hidden or denies us the opportunity to enforce them as provided under Chapter 2, which is where we have the real essence. Permit me to say a bit of it, and that is where the right to development actually is enshrined. You have a right to housing. Do you know? You have a right to water. You have a right to good health care. As an expanded explanation of the provision of Section 33 with respect to right to life. You have a right to employment. You have a right to good wage. But look at the kind of scramble and struggle about wages in this country. Look at how much, or rather the rate of unemployment in this country. So our economic rights, of course, is even the foundation of all of these discussions that we're having here. So I have said again that minority rights have been violated in these manners, that civil, political, economic, cultural, and social rights of minority groups can be violated through various means. Violations occur when a government fails in its obligations to respect, to protect, and fulfill these rights. Often, a violation of one of these rights is linked to a violation of the other rights. And that will take us to the next, where, of course, I said the effect of violation is palpable, is felt by everyone. It diminishes your identity, denies you your identity, diminishes your personality, and even survival, deprivation, poverty, poor health, and in most cases, extreme experiences of death. Then we have to devise measures to contain these challenges. We can't continue to complain. And that is why in the human rights movement, it is fundamental that you always speak up, speak out, and insist that you enforce your rights. Are there mechanisms for enforcement of human rights? Yes. We have those mechanisms enshrined in our laws, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, other acts of the National Assembly, and of course the international instruments, fundamentally the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, and then the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, as well as the International Covenant on Economic, Cultural, and Social Rights, as well as those that are specialized instruments with respect to women and children. The Convention for a lot of those special areas, including migrants and displaced persons. In conclusion, I would say that it is important for us to devise one particular strategy, which is internationalization of identity. When I was given this topic, and I felt that it was important to bring this to about the close of my presentation and say, how can internationalization of identity project a group? So when you get this, you would see some of our thoughts, how you make deliberate efforts to internationalize your identity. And of course, clearly, the president talked about the membership of the Ogoni people with an agency of the United Nations, and collaboration and partnerships with international organizations and donor agencies could come to fill the gap where these realities of discrimination and exclusion exist. So that's the justification for internationalization of identity, and then of course your agitation for the enforcement of rights. Does this work? Yes, indeed it works. He mentioned to me again when we were talking, and of course I remember that there were about 3 peoples that were actually at some point close to the point of being considered to get close to the agitation for self-determination through referendum. And South Sudan got, and then another people you mentioned have got, but that of the Ogonis appear to have suffered a setback. That is where the need for nationalities, I mean state parties to international organizations need to play a critical role. So in conclusion, I think that there are implementation strategies to ensure that we internationalize our identity, and then we insist for the enforcement of our rights, particularly the minority rights that we have just explained. And then you establish international relations offices, and I believe that if it doesn't exist, that the MOSOP will be working with relevant international organizations and agencies for partnership, including even establishing your diaspora offices to be able to ventilate your demands and then their intervention. The development of strategic partnerships, I saw in one instrument that I got from one of your lieutenants, the associations and organizations that you already have established working relationship and partnerships, and that's commendable. Then you create engaging platforms, digital content. This time we have advanced that the new media has become a veritable instrument just in our palms to be able to achieve a lot of things. So you can imagine the number of rights violations that have gone on in this country. And in a snap, just somebody being on the street and then doing a video and posting on Facebook, and then you see the reaction. We have recorded successes, sometimes because of the pressure of the people. The state authorities and of course state parties will not have the choice but to take action. So create deliberate platforms for digital content and to be able to promote your agitations. Then foster community involvement. You cannot undermine the strength of unity and then participation by the people. It is important that you all rally around your leadership, rally around your local community leadership, make deliberate effort to eschew any divisive tendency, because if you're not united, I'm afraid it will be a long walk, really, to victory. Then you monitor and evaluate your progress. That is strategic, because for those in human rights movement, you have to measure your feats or your actions as to probably knowing what you need to do and improve and do better and what you have achieved. So together with this, I have the last here recommendations, which will include that engage the Ogoni youth in leadership roles. I would dare say again, permit my observation, engage the women in leadership roles. Develop culturally sensitive materials. I have seen the literature is very strong instrument to disseminating your position and then of course your information. Foster collaboration with your people in the diaspora and then convince them to see the need to repatriate maybe resources for purposeful development in your place, or even to come back and invest, even if they are not coming back fully. Then develop strategic communication plans. I said earlier that my joy for this opportunity cannot be undermined. And yes, it wasn't fortuitous, it wasn't by chance that Professor Akane considered when he told me, I said, "Sir, can I do it?" And he said, "Of course." I told them that you are the person who can handle if I can come. With all modesty, thank you so very much.
Hello. Thank you very much, sir. It's Thank you, sir. You are indeed a father, and I also want to appreciate you for taking your time, even in the midst of your very busy schedule, to be with us right now today. Mr. President, Chairman, His Eminence, please, I seriously don't want to take your time back, but I think at this point in time, I was supposed to make you understand that our president does not work alone. As well, I'm supposed to also let you know that it's not the president that has himself alone in the executive. You know, there are some union organizations where the president represents himself alone and just the president and no other person exists. But in this particular leadership, the president don't only exist, but exists alongside with others. I was just being informed and told that our brother that we are also expecting is also here with us. Dr. Otoye Douglas is here with us as we speak. Let me also use this very short moment, sir. Please permit me to recognize the Deputy President of MOSOP, Comrade Serekara Susan Winkana, is here with us. I also want to use the opportunity to also inform you, His Eminence and my chairman and the president and indeed the entire high table, that we also have affiliates of MOSOP. We have a lot of them that is also here present. I also want to inform you that the Ogoni 9 and the Ogoni 13 and as well the Ogoni 20 that as well contributed immensely to the development of this struggle, which has actually brought this deal forward, are also here present with us from the Ogoni 9. As well, we have the legal advisor of this particular organization, Comrade Celestine Nkiri, that is here with us. We have the financial secretary that is here with us, Chief Sir Migbara Tane, that is also here with us. And as well, we have the treasurer. This is a team of, we are happy to see your entourage. So also have to make you understand, we also have an entourage that is here with us. So you understand that you have an entourage, we also have an entourage. So when next you are going to invite our president to Oberland, you will also see this entourage alongside with him in Oberland. So it will not be new to you, sir. And as well, we have Theophilus Dike. Theophilus Dike is the treasurer of this particular leadership, and he's here with us. I've also once introduced Chris Asigbo. We also have a youth wing that is here with us. We call NICOP. And NICOP is represented by Raymond Webani. We also have other represented that is here. I am Comrade Imeabe Savior Oscar. I am the PR of MOSOP. And thank you very much. At this point, I want to go straight to, we have our affiliate that is here with us. All the affiliates that is here present, please permit me, because of time, to go forward to recognize all the affiliates, the Ogoni 9, the Ogoni 13, and the Ogoni 20 that is here present. Thank you so very much. Let's go straight to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda, please, whoever is coming to perform, please let's try to be snappy, so that our Abba can retire home, our chief, our chairman can also retire home. Thank you, sir. Chairman, please permit me. The way you're looking at me, I'm scared. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We are going to go to the next item. If you have a program with you, please go straight to item number 12. That's where we are at this point in time. We are on item number 12. My president, sir. Thank you very much. Please, I have to consult so that I don't make too many mistakes. It's very important I do some consultation so that I can have slide mistakes. Like I said, we have the next item, number 12 on the program, Posthumous Award. And to handle this particular segment, we have a father, we have a son, we have someone that have actually been so pathetic and passionate about this particular struggle. Is going to do justice to this particular item number 12. Please permit me, as I make welcome to the high table again, to give or handle this particular segment, permit me as I welcome Comrade Legosi Saro-Wiwa, former president of MOSOP, and the immediate past president, and hand over to the current president. Please join me as I welcome him. Thank you, sir.
Great Ogoni people. Great Ogoni people. Greatest Ogoni people. The chairman of this occasion, our special guest, the president of MOSOP, I stand on existing protocol. I think that today we also want to recognize the important contribution of some individuals to the success of the Ogoni struggle. There are many people that did one thing or the other for the Ogoni struggle to get to where it got to. But there are some individuals whose life and time and contribution mean a lot to what we have in this struggle. I was happy when the Oba of Oberland mentioned one of the awardees. Of course, one of our awardees for today is Professor Claude Ake. Claude Ake was one of the foremost political thinkers that Africa has ever produced. And during his time, he worked for several United Nations agencies. And there was one particular commission he worked on that, of course, his resignation from that survey became the crisis that also consumed him. When in the height of the Ogoni agitation, the government responded by establishing what they call the Niger Delta Environmental Survey. and Ake was mentioned or listed among the members of that survey. But from the beginning and from the onset, the handwriting of the oil industry was on that very survey. And in protest, after the hanging of Ken, he resigned. And Ake's resignation from that Niger Environmental Survey cast a whole lot of doubt on that entire project. Besides that, of course, Ake blew his entire intellectual prowess. So for some of us, he was one of the intellectual bulk of the Ogoni struggle, one of those who were the thinkers for Ken, one of those who shared everything with Ken. In fact, his advice to Ken informs some of the things that happened in the Ogoni struggle, which some of you may not know. The Professor Lagwa committee that investigated or altered to intervene after the Ndoni crisis were all supported by Claude Ake, particularly in the Ogoni submission. So Claude's contribution to Ogoni struggle is so immense that you cannot mention Ogoni. In fact, there was one particular statement that Claude said that became very viral. And he said, Ogoni has become the conscience of this nation. If they falter, we fail. That was Claude Ake's statement in this struggle. And that is one statement that we use everywhere that we go. And that was Claude Ake. And of course, established the Center for Advanced Social Sciences, which was a serious think tank, not just for Niger Delta, but entire nation. Of course, he died in the plane crash of 1996. Let us also remember that he was invited to come and deliver a lecture for the first anniversary of the hanging of Ogoni 9 in 1996. It was part of his trip to Lagos to honor the invitation of Swedish ambassador and also to do the occasion that he died in that plane crash. So today, may I urge all of us to stand to observe a moment of silence, not just for Claude, but for all others that have died in this struggle that for which we are gathered here today. May their gentle souls rest in peace. We also have Sister Magella Makaro. For those who have read the book Silent Not Treason, you will see some of the exchange of letters between Ken and this sister. She was a remarkable sister that contributed so much to the Ogoni struggle in terms of providing support, in terms of providing linkage between the Ogoni people and the Irish community. And in the course of doing so, several letters, several messages, both written and hidden, smuggled to Ken in detention, were all done by Magella. And some few years back, Magella passed away. She was one of the strongest women supporters outside the Ogoni land that gave all her life, all her commitment to the Ogoni struggle. Today, we honor her. And we have another very strong woman. I'm happy that in doing this award, we balance it, that both men and women were recognized. Me de ko, me de ko. Me de ko, me de ko. Me de ko, me de ko. I'm happy that today we are recognizing Mrs. Rhoda Winale, otherwise called me de ko. His Majesty, there is something peculiar in the Ogoni culture. In the Ogoni culture, we have a 5-day calendar. And in that 5-day calendar, we have Deko as 1 day. Now in Ogoni, if you own a swamp, and then palm wine tappers go to a swamp to tap palm wine, if you are the owner of the swamp, there's 1 day dedicated for the palm wine tapper. All the drinks he tapped that day is always given to the owner of the swamp. And that is the me Deko. We call it, that is drink for that day. So that drink is solely for the owner of the swamp. How does that become important in the Ogoni struggle? In interpret, and that is why we always say messaging is very important in the course of social struggles. In trying to interpret the issue of royalty, the only way that the Ken, Saro-Wiwa, and the rest of them could interpret that to the local people was to use that analogy of me Deko, which was familiar with the Ogoni people. Because what we are asking for is our me Deko, that while you are taking the oil, give us a small portion of it as our own, as the owners of the oil. And So Mideko became popularized by this lady. She developed the song, and this song became our battle cry at every MOSOP gathering. And I think it is in respect of that that we are awarding, and that goes back to challenge our women. That this struggle or any other social struggle is not something that always driven by only men. There are different areas that everybody, different people have their own role to play. Mideko became a battle cry that anywhere we gather, there are two songs that move Ogoni people. Either you are singing Mideko or you are singing the Ogoni anthem. Those are the two songs that move us. And Mideko, one of those, as I remember, every gathering, whenever Ken speak, Ken will say, Mideko, sing your song. And when she sing that song, the house always erupting in very serious animation and support. So we are recognizing her for bringing that part of her own talent to be supportive of the Ogoni struggle. And today we're also recognizing Barrister Oronto Douglas. Oronto Douglas was a lawyer who also committed his entire life to the struggle of the Ogoni people and to the environment. In fact, as a young graduate from University of Science and Technology, what brought into limelight was when Ledum and Ken were detained. And Oronto and Nick Aston Jones led that thing to visit them in detention. And while they were there, Okontimo arrested them. In fact, it was from Oronto's testimony that we know that Okontimo informed them that the Ogoni operation is like the Liberian operation, and that they were expecting Share to pay them the way Ecomoc was being paid while they were doing Ecomoc operation in Liberia. It was bad to that extent. But after Okontimo was released, after Oronto Douglas was released from detention, he became one of those who championed the international aspect of the Ogoni struggle, because he was an Ijaw guy, getting access to some, because at that time, the entire military repression put most of activists underground. We were operating underground. So I don't know Ogonis like Oronto Douglas that could travel out to take the Ogoni message to the different arena of the world. And beyond that, after that, he became one of the foremost environmentalists in this country. He was a co-founder of Environmental Rights Action. And today, join me to recognize Oronto Douglas. Okay, on this note, I want to invite the family of Professor Cloud Elemaya Ake for the presentation of our little token of recognition for the enormous work and contribution they did for the Ogoni people. Movement for the Soil of Ogoni People, particularly the defender of justice of the Ogoni people. So we're recognizing Claudake as the defender of justice for the Ogoni people, presented to Professor Claudake in recognition and appreciation of his selfless support and unwavering commitment to the cause of our peaceful demand for political, economic, and environmental justice. Presented this day, Saturday, November 9, 2024. We also call on the representative of the family of Barrister Oronto Natai Douglas. This posthumous award of MOSOP is presented to Barrister Oronto Douglas in recognition and appreciation of his selfless support and unwavering commitment to the cause of our peaceful demand for political, economic, and environmental justice, presented this day, Saturday, November 9, 2024. We also call on the representative of Mrs. Rhoda Winale family. Kingdom Coordinator Okenkana, you can collect on behalf of the family. We are also presenting this to our mother, Mrs. Rhoda Komduinale, aka Mideko, in recognition of her selfless contribution and appreciation of her commitment to the Ogoni struggle. And the last but not the least is Sister Magela Macaron. Okay, we just got informed that the representative from Daughter of Charity, I think I missed that part of it. Sister Magela worked with Daughter of Charities in Eleme, Ebubu, for years. I think that was where she started her engagement with MOSOP from before she retired and went back to Ireland. Anybody? Okay, her plaque is also here, but because the person was supposed to come to collect, we understand she took it this morning, but hers is here and is reading, presented a MOSOP Posthumous Award of the Defender of Justice for the Ogoni People, presented to Sister Magela Macaron in recognition and appreciation of her selfless support and unwavering commitment to the cause of our peaceful demand for political, economic, and environmental justice. Presented this day, 9 November 2024. Thank you.
Hi. I hope you're all okay. I need some smiles. Please. The table is flooded with books. Like I said, beginning, MOSOP had a newspaper that helped in publicizing and marketing the activities. For some years back, that newspaper was in the limbo. So we have decided to revive it because there's something missing in Ogoni land, a proper voice that will articulate the issues surrounding Ogoni and Ogoni's survival in the body polity of this country. So MOSOP has revived this newspaper. You will always be finding it on our newsstands. That's the Ogoni Star. We have some copies that you can pick up. for anything you think you can donate. But all our invitees on the high table will have a copy each. And we have two important books, like I did say. We'll put all our efforts into these two books. This is the retrial of Ken Saro-Wiwa. What are we trying to do with this? There's quite a lot of technical flaws, legal flaws in the trial of Ken and Co. So we now want to put it to play and see how we can come out with what's supposed to be the right judgment. If you guys are aware, even when they were sentenced, they had a 30 days leave to do what? To oppose that decision. But since the military junta had their games cut out, they didn't want that opportunity given to them to seek redress, so they quickly executed them. So this book is going to actually legally try Ken, and the result will be discharge and acquittal or what have you. So like I said, this book, we have contacted 2 theater departments in universities in the Niger Delta. We've concluded discussions with them on how the department will produce this book in a playwright form. And also, there was a book released during the time of His Excellency Amechi, I think so. And that was this one. Victims of Circumstance. And nobody took action with it. So we have brought it out. We're going to do the same thing with this book. So it's also here to be publicly displayed. Anyone who feels like getting a copy of these books, you can get copies of it. So that's what we have on this. Yeah. So to properly put our, okay, let me see this. Good. We will ask our Royal Father of the Day to declare these books free to the public. And we will give him 5 copies of this so that he can take to his council, as well as 5 copies of this one. So, Your Eminence, sir, we would request that you launch the book for us, just to display to the public.
Mr. Chairman, the President Emeritus, our people have been called upon to do something unusual. I think it's the academics that know how to do these things better. You know, the traditional rulers did not go to school. We only listen to the voice of the gods. But with me, I have a book they've titled The Retrial of Ken Saro-Wiwa. I am knowledgeable on what retrials are all about. When a woman cooks soup and the soup does not go through well the throat, she's brought to a retrial because she has to cook again. If you are the type of husband I am, if the salt is too much, you must go back and do the work again. So I think we are being called to re-examine what took place, what we did,
if in the light of truth, in the light of justice, in the light of what we know today, there was fairness, there was equity. Those who are interested in knowing will find this work very resourceful. I know they said if you want to hide something from a Nigerian, put it down in writing. You and I are guilty of the same thing. But I am challenging us to prove those who made that statement wrong. We'll have to read. And reading, acquire knowledge. In knowledge, emancipate ourselves. So I declare these books open for your consumption and my consumption. In the name of all the martyrs, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, and in the name of everything we hold dear and holy. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. MOSOP President, don't be worried that it fell down. The vibration that comes from the above land is enough to make you even hit anything on the ground. Thank you very much. Your Eminence, your vibration was very high, so the MOSOP President didn't know where he hit the projector. Thank you. At this point, I want to sincerely, even though my president have declared the book free for everybody, even though the president have asked that the book should be given, but what we want to do, we must do the proper thing, His Eminence and my chairman. Permit me to, at this point, said we want to start something, and we want to launch the book proper, but the first says that is here. So I don't know how we are going to start, but I don't want to be disrespectful. Okay, so at this point, thank you, His Eminence. I have just been given a very brief and important information. So we want to launch for just a few minutes, and then we can excuse His Eminence. So let me, I don't know if I should start from His Eminence. Should I start from you? Okay, thank you. His Eminence has reliably informed me through one of the important person on his entourage that he is going to launch the book for mobile land, and that he's not going and that he's not going to launch the book here, but as a respected king and as a respected monarch, that he's going to do it in the traditional way. And at this point, we want to sincerely, before your departure, sir, that you have been so wonderful to us. We are so much happy that you are just very patient with us. You are just very patient with us. Yourself and the chairman, Nicholas Bakpo, is teaching me something new. You know, as a young boy growing up, I try to learn from every situation. And one thing I'm learning right now is that if a king like you, so recognized, so powerful, can be so patient for... He wants to... Yeah. So as a king, you're so patient to this point. I want to sincerely appreciate you for this particular moment. So we want to hand over the microphone to the chairman for his own pronunciation. We want to believe that before the end of today or next week or next year, Oba will send over blessings to Ogoni people. Thank you. So let me hand over the microphone to the chairman, Nicholas Bakpo, to actually... Okay. I have just been directed or been informed that 5 books has to go to Oba land. So I am handing over these 5 books to the Oba land. Thank you. Okay, this other one. Okay, that's 10. You are taking 10. Thank you very much. Let's rise for the king. Let's all stand up to recognize and respect the king. He has so much stride for us. Oba land. His Eminence, we so much thank you for your coming. You are just a simple man by nature. We appreciate you. God leads you well. Johnny Mercy, we wish you well, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so let me give the microphone to you want to launch. No, just give them account number. They're asking for account number. Go and give them account number. Okay, at this point, please, if you have interest, for those of us that want to be part of this book launching, you can please make your presentation. Those that want, let me at this point, if you are a member of the Ogoni Nai, please, the Ogoni Nai, please. If you are here, Ogoni Nai, please, can we see you stand? You are here, Ogoni Nai, please. If you are here as Ogoni Nai, please, can we see you stand, sir? Okay. Sorry, let the Ogoni Nai just stand for recognition, please. The Ogoni Nai, you are here, please stand for recognition. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's have you for book launch. Thank you. Thank you.
Not be launch.
In the fine free book. Thank you. Okay, so my chairman, sir. It's like you want to say something, sir, about the book launch. You want to say something? The book launch. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Just give me a copy each of the book. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Our father has just made his own pronouncement, and I think that pronouncement is meant for me and the executive. Or should I tell you? Okay, thank you very much. The chairman of the occasion have decided to launch the book with the sum of 30,000 naira. Thank you very much. What about this? Okay, so let me at this point in time call on the co-cultural dancer. Are they available, please? The co-cultural dancer, can we have them, please? The co-cultural dancer. While we are waiting for the arrival of the co-cultural dancers, we want to sincerely please, the entertainment should get ready. Entertainment should get ready. Are we still expecting the co-cultural dancer, please? Is the secretary of MOSOP available? Chief Nasikbo Yada. Chief Nasikbo Yada, are you here, please? Okay, at this point, since we can't find or we can't have the cultural dancers, and the refreshment is also in waiting, please join me as I welcome our legal advisor, Barrister Celestine Nkiri, for a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Great Ogoni people. Greatest Ogoni people. Great Ogoni people. Today, I am highly elated. And I want to stand on existing protocol and on behalf of the entire executive of MOSOP, as led by Engineer and Wai Ogosu, to give and tender vote of thanks. I want to thank you all, and before I start, I want to acknowledge the commitment, the struggle and the dreams of our heroes past. And I also want to encourage you all not to leave us alone. Because as we are going about our normal businesses, after leaving this place, I also pray for Johnny Macy's back home in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Thank you all.
Thank you. At this point, I think while we are expecting the food to get ready, we also want to ask that the food should be prayed for while the food is getting ready. And as well, want the cultural dancer, if you are still available, also want you to please stay around if you are still available. We also want to be entertained while eating. So let me use this opportunity to invite okay, let the Secretary General, Chief Nasikbo, Gospel, and lead us to the closing prayer. Chief Nasikbo, sir, please. There's somebody pray for food. For the food over there.
Amen. Great Ogoni people. Greatest Ogoni people. I've been asked to do a very small job. Just to ask you bye-bye and take little snack for yourself. Can we rise up for a short prayer? Can we take this song together? Unto thy Lord be thy glory, great things he has done. Unto thy Lord be thy glory, great things. Unto thy Lord. In Jesus' name. Father, we return all the thanks to you for the great things you've done. That in spite of all the persecution, in spite of all the imprisonment, in spite of all the killings and the murdering, Lord, you still have the cause to have Ogoni people to rejoice today. It was a black day for the black people, but today the mindset of the enemies did not prevail. Lord, we give you thanks and we glory for fulfilling in Jesus' name. Lord, as we are going back, we declare Johnny mercies unto everybody here. Both cause us to be joined to our loved ones. That next year we will be gathered more to give you more thanks and more graces. And to remind us, O Lord, create in our mind the awareness that tomorrow we have to further thank you in the church service. Thank you and God bless you in Jesus' name.
While we are sitting waiting for the food, I've just been asked to inform you very briefly that the Ogoni Star is already in publication and is on the table. The gate is 250 naira for a copy if you need a copy. I've also been directed to inform you that the Thanksgiving service continues tomorrow at Methodist Church and the time is 10 a.m. Why? I've also been asked to inform you that the cost price for the book, any of the copies you want to obtain or you want to pick, is just 1,000 naira. So I think the publisher has actually done well, because if you consider the amount and the level of cost now, you know that a lot of things are high. So for 1,000 naira for a copy, it's actually a good one. So while we expect the cultural dancer to come in and the entertainment ongoing, thank you so very much, as you've all been very wonderful. I remain Comrade Imabe Xavier Oscar, Publicity Secretary, Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People. Thank you and God bless you all. Thank you.
We came from Oba, the entourage that came to honor, for us, men we call heroes in the struggle of the emancipation of the Niger Delta. They lived their lives for us, they laid their lives down for us. And there's no greater honor and no greater deed, no greater sacrifice than what they have done. So all we can do in our little way is to come and honor them. Incidentally, our histories run deep and goes far back. Oba and Ogoni have worked together ever since the creation of the state. And it has been a good work, even though silent. Many people do not understand how it all began and where it was left off. I've just come to renew that friendship, to reenact it, so that the young who are not aware will understand what it is that holds us together. Professor Ake from Oba, Omok precisely, one of my subjects, died also in the struggle. Because once you have the light, there's always this zeal to fight, to maintain and keep it, perpetuate light. The two lights came together, they met, and it blossomed. Incidentally, my father, my late father, the Oba of Oberland, was also discreetly part and parcel of the whole struggle. Right from Zoko and so many other things, as you know, they were very close friends to begin with. And when they were having their meetings late at night, I was always there, even though younger. Today, here I am there in the camp and come to you with all these traditional rulers from my area, resourceful gentlemen on their rights. I believe that there is a lesson for everybody to learn. But in unity we can do so much. Put our heads together in a seasoned and reasoned manner, many things. The state owns the Niger Delta area. The state Nigeria owns the Niger Delta area. We cannot give so much and not be recognized. You cannot call a committee of nations of the state and you think the Niger Delta is not equivalent to what you have as quantitative majority. We are qualitative majority. As such, I believe that the time has come to begin to listen to these voices that cry out that. And I'm not sure it's difficult to understand what people are saying. It's only how to reason out how to go about what they say. And the Nigerian state has enough intellectuals to do that for us. I believe the time has come for the president to hearken to the call. There's no harm in granting, if you want to call it amnesty, since they say a father can never apologize. Grant an amnesty to Ken and the martyrs. It will suit the wounds, because the wounds are still much there. Even if they seem to have dried up, if you scratch it barely, you'll still find the distance there. So I believe the nation must go back and do what is needful. Oil-bearing communities must be empowered. I am not talking about devolving monies to agencies that cannot meet the needs of the people. There must be a way of reaching these poor, stricken people. If not, like I said, the nation will keep fetching whatever it is fetching with basket, and it will keep leaking out. Thank you.
Thank you. the program we've had so far. We've noticed today is November 9th and it's in memory of the Ogoni 13 that died for the struggle. Please, we've done so much today and we'd like you to give us a recap of what happened in the hall so far.
That's a long one. Well, everybody knows that November 10th, actually, that's the date when the martyrs were, that is the 9th actually, were killed. But what we are doing today is not just for the 9th, it's for the entire martyrs. People who, during the struggle, sacrificed their life and they were killed. So it normally is celebrated on the 10th, but because the 10th falls on a Sunday, and we have an elaborate plan, that's why we decided to do it in 2 days. Saturday, 9th November, we have to bring people to talk on the issue of what has happened after the struggle till date. And in course of that, also give award, Posthumous award, to persons not even Ogoni people, but they fought with Ogoni people and also sacrificed their lives for it. So that's part of it. But the essence of bringing it to Bane to have the celebration is because it is the hometown of the leader, the visionary that brought about it, that was able to galvanize the entire Ogoni people and indeed the Niger Delta. Because what he struggled for, what he and his compatriots struggled for, was to look about the damage, the destruction that has been caused to the environment in cost of the international companies carrying the resources, trading with the resources and making money with the resources. In cost of that, damage our environment. And when we talk of environment, we're talking of the land, water, air, vegetation, the life forms that also habit the vegetation, the forest and all that. So, to ensure that this message lives on, it is good we remind ourselves of those negative impacts and what we need to do to change that narrative and ensure that people understand the importance, their relationship with the environment, the interrelatedness between development and environment. It is when you understand this, you better appreciate the damage that has been caused, and therefore you'll be better positioned to do what? To remedy, to make proper solutions, what we call ameliorative measures or mitigative measures. So that's the whole essence of it. And because we have also seen a gap in knowledge between the forebears and the immediate successive enlightened generation, there is a gap between them and the current generation. So what do you need to do? What we need to do is to continue to talk about the essence of that struggle, so that we living and the ones that are still coming will be able to understand what has happened to the environment and what they need to do to make the environment sustainable. So that's what we do.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your time. We really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Abo, abo, pa Ogoni, abo, ne. Negesigako Baraboa Kimai Titom Sitom Ogoni Sitom Negesigako Baraboa Kimai Baby, baby, Ogoni baby Negesigako Baraboa Kimai Bello, bello, Ogoni bello Negesigako Baraboa Kimai